You know, they in the comments, it says, how are you a bum and have the audacity to put your hands on the KeKe Palmer? Come on, man. So this photo here, this video footage is from February of 2022, almost 2 years ago. So
God,
come on, man.
Stop the cap.
We ain't
yeah,
doing
yeah.
this. We ain't.
Let's call it what it is. This situation getting heated. These two goofballs, KeKe and her man, going tit for tat. She said, "You know what? She done sat up in her house with her goofy girl, hyena girlfriends, and she done said, you know what? I think I got something." And she went back, and they appeared concocting a story. They appeared to, yeah, that's what they doing. If you ask me, like Gavin said, if this is just steals, all right, we ain't got actual video footage, and like, just like, why? Seriously, like, is it
I
really
think of a couple of reasons why. I mean, what are the
any
implications
police reports?
of child support going forward if she has more custody? You know, she says she doesn't want more child support, but if you have a successful guy and then now he doesn't have access with his kids, she can get a lot more money as a result of this. I mean,
And that's the thing, he's not broke.
Reverse.
She
In this
doesn't
case, it's
want his
reverse.
money.
She don't want to have to pay him anything. So she trying to remove all his rights, paint him as a certain picture. So we get you in here. We gotta get Lamb and Meek in here. What you got, Lamb?
So look, I'm assuming that there's different levels of DV, right? But to me, the way that KeKe's moving, like prior, like we all saw the Usher thing, like I would think that someone that's actually fearful, like, of their life, they behave a certain way. They try to get away from the person,
Come on.
distance themselves. They don't do things to antagonize the person that they're afraid of, right? So the Usher thing happens, right? He actually makes a comment while she's there. He's like, wow, like, this isn't the same, right? Like, I'm not feeling this, right? So he does that. But then after that, this is the thing that I don't understand. After that, she then makes a music video or shows up on Usher's music video, almost gaslighting the man. Like if you're fearful of this man, why would you do anything like that? To me, people that are actual real severe victims of DVs, the way that she's trying to make it seem, do not behave that way, because they're gonna be afraid of what happens when they get home. So I don't understand. I'm not understanding if this is what she's saying, why she would do those things. That to me that doesn't add up. I'm not saying that there isn't. But I'm not saying that there isn't any trauma or there isn't any chaos or there isn't any sort of issue that they have between themselves. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that certain things, to me, like, it doesn't seem like it adds up like that. If you're fearful the way, and she's trying to take the kid away and the whole thing, like, correct me if I'm wrong, like that doesn't seem odd to anybody.
People do a lot of odd things in domestic relationships. I'm just gonna tell you that when the domestic violence comes about, I agree with Lamb to a certain extent. I just think that it's just interesting that we have a world where now, like Mr. Walker said, just a man being accused of something, the label is on them. But I also think we live in a world to where someone can straight up be a victim and they're completely gaslit out of their reality of what's going on. Some ain't right up here with KeKe. We get that. But also it doesn't mean that you have the right to put your hands on anyone. Like, regardless. And sometimes when a man says, I'm never going to do it again, that was a one-time thing. Some people really believe that. And so they don't want to get them in trouble. They don't want them to go to jail. So they take them back and believe that they won't do it again, which is cap.
If I'm Darius Jackson's attorney, the very next thing I do is I file a motion to move the custody exchange locations to the police station with cameras, or to allow dash cams on the cars and say, you know what, we need to have proof to protect my client going forward. I don't need another one of these. And if KeKe and her attorney is like, oh, no, alone. If that's what she's trying to do going forward, then I think it's been pointed out, then I think she's tipping her hand, because that's exactly the point. I think that was really well said, that if someone is a true victim of DV, the absolute last thing they want to do is be alone with their abuser. If they are looking to trap somebody with false accusations, they would love being alone. So if I'm Darius Jackson's attorney, that's the very next thing I do next, is you do not want a second allegation coming.
No.
I'll say this. We'll get you in here, Meek. The first thing is, Darius Jackson need to tell his attorney, tell them to release the footage. If it was so egregious, release it. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do nothing. Like you said, that could be them playing. They got stills of whatever it is. Release the whole footage if it's so egregious. Show what led up to it. What did she? They talking about they was fighting. He was trying to take her phone. They was fighting over her phone. He was trying to take her phone from her. You know. And another thing is, I see y'all keep hitting on, drop the kid off at police stations and all this wild mess. Listen, brother, that's why we say, watch where you spread your seed. Ain't no way. Yeah, that ain't even computing for a man to have to, if you can't, yeah. And a lot of that's rooted in men still sleeping with the woman within a 6-month period. And it's still some type of there, because ain't no way, I don't know.
So my opinion is absolutely biased. Y'all know I'm not with the sisterhood. So I do not believe KeKe. I do not think she's a victim. I think that this story is concocted so she can keep her son away from the father.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you why. First and foremost, this is a typical plan from the Baby Mama handbook. I've watched it happen to my uncles where women claim abuse, and it's just deployed to keep the children away. KeKe is not a victim because when KeKe boyfriend said she was inappropriately dressed, not only did she respond crazy, she made a song. Like, we ain't discussed that. Who creates a song about a man can't tell them what to do if they know that man gonna beat them up when they get home? It just doesn't make sense.
Was Tina Turner making songs like that about
she ain't disrespect Ike.
Heck
the best
no.
thing that happened to her. So it's just like the math not mathing. Like, if I was so fearful of a man and his wrath, I would do everything I could to please him. So I wouldn't have my tail out. I wouldn't be in Usher's face. I wouldn't go on stage nowhere screaming about how I don't need no man and my kid gave me a booty. Like, KeKe is not a victim, and we're not about to sit here and act like she's a victim. KeKe did not release a video. Who releases pictures when they get beat up? Like, the math not mathing. If I listened to Jason Black earlier, and I'm on my Jason Black tip, but he made a real good point. If the police would have done something to one of us and they released stills, we wouldn't be okay with that. No, let me see the footage. Put the full footage out. So if that man genuinely abused you, that should have been the first thing to go up online, the full video. I'm not about to take no time out to screenshot something when, look, y'all, this man be dogging me. And then it's still February 2022. You was going crazy on this man this year. You was disrespecting him at a whole top tier level, but he abuses you. It's no. I don't accept it. She's making it up.
Like, she was doing the highest level of disrespect, but you're fearful. Like, how? No. How are you out in the public for the whole world to see, behaving this way, gaslighting a man that you're afraid of? Like that. Like, unless what Crystal's trying to say is she's screaming for help at that point. Like, she has all the resources. She has more resources than most people in the world. So if she needed to get away, if she needed some count, she has all that to her disposal, but she chooses to be disrespectful and do something that is not something that a normal, like, actual, I think, level-headed woman would do in that situation.
She's not level-headed, though. She's hard-headed.
You don't think so?
I don't know if y'all saw the thing is, KeKe Palmer doesn't make rational decisions. And I said that from the jump. The way that she met him and the way that she went after him, and the way that the reasoning to her picking him. And I don't know if you all saw the footage of Steve Harvey warning her about not being selective with who she dates. What looked like to be a year or at least 2 or previous before she was even dating this guy. Even if he is an angel, right? Let's say he didn't do anything like the lawyer said. Okay, cool. Give it to Jonathan. Let's just say he was. Regardless if he didn't do anything, KeKe did not pick the best individual to start with. And when Steve Harvey tried to teach her a little something, to put a little bit of sense in her head, she was, I know everything. You know how KeKe personality is. She know everything. You can't tell her nothing. So she doesn't seem to be an aggressive, like, woman like that, but she seems to be very hard-headed and know-it-all, and I'm a diva and I'm a queen, and she's like that, which can be very annoying at a certain point to a man, and very provoking in the wrong scenario. So do I think it was Ike and Tina in this mug? No, obviously. But what I think is that a man can put his hands on you a couple of times. Y'all are acting like they've been dating 10 years. They haven't been dating for like 10 years. I think they've been dating maybe like they were friends and then dating like 2 years or something like that. So sometimes when the heat gets to boiling, some of that real personality starts to come out. As you all just said, the Usher situation. As you all said, this couldn't have been a situation at all when you were smiling and loving and hugging and defending him on how great he was, regardless of him making 1/10 of your income. She didn't care about none of that. She didn't want to hear it. So her ears are closed. She didn't want to hear it. So yes, people do sometimes show further personality traits when the heat gets hot. And also, for us to just say completely that she's lying is the same reason why little children don't tell their parents that they're being molested, because they're scared, and they're scared of the judgment that they'll get, and the fact that the majority, as we see, won't believe them. Am I saying he's doing all these things? No. But what I'm saying is that I'm also not going to just completely say the victim is lying and go cake for him. I'm just not going to do that. I'm still standing back looking at both sides, and I've already had smoke for KeKe a long time ago.
Crystal, you are very much so on the side of this man is an abuser. Like you said straight up, he looked like the type that no, you
his
are
actions,
you are
like,
not
no,
unbiased.
What did he do? What were his actions? That's what I'm not understanding.
Yeah, that's
what actions?
His actions. You all maybe have not been keeping up with KeKe Palmer.
Oh, okay. Then,
but
yeah.
I have been hearing. Have you all been keeping up with the little pieces that have been leaking over the last year or two about her?
What actions has he done? Because it hasn't been in the news.
Well, no, his tweets, his emotional instability that he has, taking Twitter down, putting it back up, making crazy tweets, deleting them getting back together. She's playing her part. Please hear me loud and clear. I promise you I've had more smoke for KeKe. I have went on rants about KeKe and her choice and how she moves and not listening when somebody's trying to tell you something, and also the choice of man that she picked, which is totally against the way that I pick when I date. So I've had plenty of smoke for her, but that's not the conversation right now. If we would have been talking about the dress, the Usher situation, all of that, cool. But I'm talking about this situation that has gotten so heated that it's turned into this. So as much as it may seem that I'm so pro KeKe, I've never really been a big fan of hers. And I'm just saying that I'm not personally going to just say she's lying, he did nothing. I'm just not gonna say that.
I'll say this, because I think you act like you can't tell the difference between a guy like him and, Pookie and Ray Ray in the hood. Like, if that's the case, what is a good man? Because, and let's make this clear, he's younger than her. She's older than him, Crystal. She older than him. But whether it's a year or whatever. So that's some manipulation. Quacking like he got the upper hand, like she ain't the one with the money resources. She ain't the older one. She ain't the one in charge.
You said it, Crystal. He make 1/10 of her income. He make 1/10.
Why do you think that he not on her level? What level is KeKe on? Like, what makes you think this man is?
Because she said it. It's income. He make 1/10.
Income has nothing to do with the woman she is.
My thing is, we gotta understand that KeKe is the abusive one. You got to take a step back and look at her behavior. Whether it's her going to the Usher concert dressed like that, that's some form of abuse to that man. Let's call it what it is. Man just ain't allowed to speak on this stuff. We ain't loud. We got to be men at all times.
Argue that.
So when this man going over there to pick his son up, and she said, you can't take your son, that is abuse. That's parental abuse. All type of abuse going on. Don't try to paint this brother as a bad man. It's all on her.
I like that.
I think abuse is going on both ends, but once it gets physical, these are two goofy people who decided to get together. That's my first choice. two goofy people who got together. She picked him based off looks, which was the first thing I said. She picked him based off him just being fine at a party. He looked good. Okay, let's go for it. And that's not a proper way to pick a partner for a woman. It's not. And so, you know, he's been doing some things that to me are red flags if I'm dating. And I can go, I mean, I've said a few things already, and KeKe is goofy as hell. I honestly, if I went down the list of what she did, I'm only not because I don't want to be talking and taking up so much time, but she did a lot of stupid things to even be in this situation. One, not listening to an older man who was trying to give you guidance to begin with. So yes, I said that he makes 1/10 of her income, which was a joke. I think he's probably making some money, but nothing to what KeKe is. But yes, let's not act like resources and how much time and effort and energy you put into your craft matters when women are dating. We like to date men who are very driven.
It doesn't matter.
To some
and
people,
I'm sorry
it doesn't.
to cut you off, Crystal, because KeKe is in Hollywood. Okay, KeKe has access to all these men. She could date a financial advisor. She could date a producer. She could date a man that writes movies. She did not have to choose a personal trainer. So if KeKe was as high as we're claiming she is, she wouldn't have picked a man that was beneath her. Like, no, I'm sorry, not sorry.
I agree, but
like,
no, I agree.
She doesn't qualify for better, so she got what she deserves. She got what she can get, which is Darius, a man that earns less money than her, who was a good beta boyfriend to her. To me, he seemed like a really good beta boyfriend.
There you go.
I think that she didn't know her worth. Pick me. It's a difference from the facts of what your level is and you not knowing your worth. That's just like
she knew what she qualified.
What is her worth attached to? Her worth should be, to me, KeKe.
Her worth is attached to her mental.
Is a loud feminist who spews hate into our community. I don't care. That woman publicly went out here and said Claire Huxtable as a character wasn't a good representation of a woman. But to me, that's a goal that I aspire to.
I already agree with you. I already said that.
I already and be a good mama. Like, so to me, that's an unhinged woman. She do not believe in having good homes.
I already said that.
And that's why she's breaking up her home. I think that what's going on now is a full display of her worth, the type of woman that she is, her character. She doesn't value family, and she's willing to destroy the one that she decided to create. All of the men in Hollywood, I'm sure she done got bust down by quite a few. She decided to have this man's baby. I'm sorry, not sorry. No,
but pick me. I'm confused because I already agreed with the idea of her worth and her mental being off. Okay, outside looking in, because a lot of people like to say I make contradictions, but they just don't understand what a balanced person looks like, and that I can look at a situation from all angles and not take it personal. Most of the time, I'm still human. So what I'm saying is that yes, pick me. She didn't know her freaking worth. She didn't, like you said, her mental ain't right. She clowning. She's not my pick of girl I would want to hang around, to be honest with you. But I'm staying on topic. And what I'm saying is that she could have been annoying. Like you said, her value was low, not because of her money necessarily, but because of her mental. And I already said that from the beginning. But it still does not take away the fact that you don't have the right to put your hands on nobody, whether they're causing woman or a man.
Let me cut you off right quick before I forget it. That's where my pushback is. I'm sorry, let me say this. That's where my pushback is, because if I'm saying your character as a woman is here and you're displaying something else, that's you being worthless. A worthless woman is not going to be, a valuable woman isn't going to be out here making up allegations on her child's father. A woman of value is not going to degrade her body at a concert because she's feeling sexy. Like, no, we can't just take, she's displaying the woman that she is. So to me, she's worthless.
You're saying KeKe Palmer is completely worthless.
Well, she ain't got that much worth. Like, we ain't gonna sit up here and act like she here and just Darius just the bottom of the barrel.
KeKe Palmer was, but let's not cap. She was one of the first. She was one of the first young Black, Disney stars, and we can't have. What that means is representation. That means hard work. That means consistency. That's artistry. So we also can't just hone in on one piece of her and say she trashed her ass away. That's all I'm saying. We
Well, who
can't
she
just
gave
Her
do
her
that.
career
womb
doesn't
to?
make her as a
That's the
woman, though.
huge part. She gave her womb to that man. So we gotta before she married
Okay.
him. So she come on now. We gotta.
Which
No,
is
I
a
don't know.
display of her value.
Gavin.
She got real grown, real big. It's not that she was young and dumb. She was a grown ass woman and decided to
Exactly.
have a baby by that man. Sorry,
I
if she
agree.
can do better,
I
she
agree.
Willie, I
can do
got a
better.
question. You're ready for it.
I'm
You ready?
sorry.
I think this can be. I think this could be Darius's finest hour if he plays his cards right. And here's my quick take.